You guys, what up? Viper here again, and today I want to talk about what I believe is the biggest problem that the Illuvium Arena is going to be facing in the future if we stay on essentially the similar version of the game, and nobody is like talking about this, nobody has picked this up yet, and I think it's not an issue for the other games, but it's a really big issue for Illuvium Arena. So why am I saying this is an issue with Illuvium Arena? Because Illuvium Arena is, at least on, I don't know, like some competitive-ish higher level of the game, where you will just have like a couple hundred or a couple thousand people in your matchmaking range. It's like unstreamable without having significant delay. Now, why is that the case? Well, first of all, we're playing a strategy game where we go into with a team or deck building setup. That means, well, somebody can just have a favorable matchup into you. Somebody can just play good alluvials into you, right? Like if you have mainly, I don't know, nature alluvials and the other guy then plays a bunch of fire alluvials, it's going to be difficult, right? So either, like best scenario case, you just can't play any of the more polarizing strategies because you're streaming and people could just play something that's good into you. But it's still like a strategy game. There's still going to be matchups, and that is one issue on just like before the game even starts. People can just be like, oh, this guy is streaming and I want to win to farm more airdrop points or leaderboard rewards or qualify for a tournament. Or I just really want to piss that guy off because, well, people are not very nice on the internet oftentimes. Stream sniping is a problem in pretty much every game. And it's just like, well, people just want to piss off streamers. How do you avoid that? Well, to some extent, obviously, some forms of streamer modes, maybe some forms of you can hide your queue and so on and so on. But I'm gonna be honest, I've seen that in many games I've played. You just can't really stop it, right? So if the game is very, very popular, your queue times are very, very low, you can just put like a small delay and that is not really a big issue. And if you have a small delay, like 30 to 40, 45 seconds, something like that, you can still pretty much like real-time talk with people in chat, right? Because your answer is not going to be 2 sentences anyways, right? You're going to give like an explanatory answer and then you're going to do something in the game and then you can like check back and so on. Like a 30 second delay, 45-second delay, easy to talk to people. Now, why is it so bad in Illuvium? Well, because Illuvium doesn't only have this matchup thing, but we also have the blind positioning thing. And we have pretty long turns that we play. So you cannot even really talk about what you want to do the next turn, because your turn starts and you explain, okay, I'm going to do this turn for these reasons, and then next turn we can do this or that, and you can just elaborate. You tell your audience what's going on, what you want to plan to do, and so on. Well, from start to your turn to like the middle of the next turn's timer, this is like a 2-minute time frame, maybe even more at really, really late stages in the game. Now we're talking about, what, 2-minute delays? That makes it really hard to have a real-time conversation with people in chat. That sucks. And if we want to extrapolate this further, because realistically on like a 2 minutes you can still like stream snipe people because of just like the game time, right? You see, okay, the guy's in a bad position, is going to lose after the next fight, so I press the Q button now. I can speak on like, how do I put it, like some level of experience on this, because this just was like a thing that happened in Hearthstone like all the time. Me being at a, I don't know, 600 average views, I think was like before I really stopped streaming Hearthstone seriously. So you just had like people that wanted to mess with you all the time. And the crazy thing was, when I compared that, my offline and my stream games, like just what classes did I play against, what decks did I play against, it was so crazy significantly different in Hearthstone. Now, if you're talking smaller games, where it's like easier to Q snipe people, and maybe again we're talking about if your ranked ladder, if your ranked rank matters, right? Maybe you can get the clips for your social media, maybe you can just piss off people, maybe you get rewards, maybe airdrops, maybe leaderboard, maybe whatever kind of stuff that could exist. I think that's a big issue, because it's gonna make people not want to stream Arena. It's gonna make people not want to just stream the game. And that's really bad. Like, you want to have people that are live, that play the game, that somebody comes in the chat and they can answer their questions and so on. And you don't want to have people there to either decide, well, I can either interact with the people in my chat, but then I'm just going to lose a bunch of games for free. And it's going to be very obvious that somebody is just messing with me, which sucks, because that reduces the overall content, the quality of the content of the stream so much, or you're gonna have like a high quality gameplay stream, but then you can't lifetime interact with people, which also sucks. Like to some extent, obviously you probably want to have some sort of streamer mode so people cannot see the name of their opponent, or they see like a fake name of their opponent and then they don't know that they currently play versus a streamer, and they cannot just open like a second monitor to open their stream. That would help. Maybe if you have like different matchmaking queues or algorithms for streamers as well, that would be cool. That, I don't know, just like works slightly different, so it's like harder to predict, it's harder to Q snipe into them and so on. That would be really cool. All right, so that's like about Arena mainly though. If we want to look at how streamable are the other Illuvium games, that's like amazingly good, right? If we want to look at Illuvium 0, amazingly good game to stream, because people gonna come to your stream seeking knowledge, and you can just tell them what to do, right? It's like essentially a single player city builder game. So you can tell them, yeah, you want to prioritize this, you want to do this, that, and then you have this list. What do you focus on? You can have discussions with them. Do you want to prioritize on the blueprints? Do you prioritize on the fuel production? How much time do you have per day? And what is like your approach to the game? So that's like a really good interactive thing where a lot of people are gonna come and search knowledge, and it's harder to do on like YouTube videos and guides and so on as well, because it's gonna be very player dependent, right? Somebody's gonna have a different layout on their plot, somebody's gonna have a different time that they can invest in the game, somebody's gonna have different priorities, what they even want to do. Do they want to like fund their own overworld runs, what they want to do with that fuel? Do they want to have, I don't know, some cool cosmetics and so on? So that is really, really good for Illuvium 0 setup. And the same is to be said about Illuvium Overworld. You have so many cool things that people want to, again, like have knowledge about, that they want to like seek out watching somebody that tells them what to do. Because first of all, they can learn, how do I play this game optimally? How do I get the Illuviums that I want? How do I level them up? What do I have to pay attention to if I fuse them? What gear do I craft? What is the best Mozart chip setup? What is the best way to move around the map? Which map do I farm? There's like so much that they can like go and learn, and that people will want and seek knowledge for. And again, this like live stream one-to-one interaction where they can just ask questions and they have chat and they have the streamer to help them is going to be better than like a YouTube video. And then the second thing, it's a really chill game to play. Right, especially if you're good at Overworld, if you know what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing in that Illuvium open world-ish thing, Safari zone, capturing kind of thing, it's gonna feel so good because you just like jump around the map, you shoot things, you capture them, and then there's like, damn, you found this crazy rare alluvial, or you found this hollow alluvial, or you found this rare ore, and so on, right? So there's a bunch of random things, random elements, gacha elements happening. That's entertaining. That's fun. People are watching people just click a button in a slot machine. This is like such a more interactive slot machine in that sense, right? Because there's gameplay attached to it, and there's like loot box-ish feeling attached to it. And then you also have a marketplace ideas attached to it, because those things are actually tradable. You own them. You can do something with them. You can maybe go build your own team as well, right? You can do so many challenges and like specific content things for Overworld as well. You can be like, okay, what can we farm Overworld with this amount of fuel? What team can we build? How far can we get in the arena with this team? There's so much that you can do and cool stuff for Overworld and also Illuvium 0. But I think for Arena, it's really, really rough. Maybe Arena just a competitive game and people just gonna be like, yeah, okay, my streamer has like pretty long delay. If you play on high ranks, you just cannot stream the game unless you have these really high delays, and it just is what it is. If I wanted to compare, for example, they brought out Hearthstone Classic. Really, really cool like sub game mode that they had, but the player base was far lower. And that was the craziest thing that I remember about that. I really, really like Freeze Mage. I wanted to play Freeze Mage in Hearthstone Classic, and I was just facing 60% Druids as my opponent when I played on stream. And I was facing like 10% Rogues. Rogue is the easiest matchup you have, is like almost impossible to lose, and Druid was the hardest matchup that you had back then. On stream, I play by far the most versus the worst matchup, and I don't get the good matchup almost ever. If I play off stream, I mainly got Rogues, because Rogue was like the best thing to play actually. It was beating everything outside of Freeze Mage, so everybody was just playing Rogue, and I wasn't playing that many Druids because Druid was not that great versus Rogue. So that was a really crazy moment for me where I realized, damn, streaming this game is pretty hard right now if player numbers on the main game mode and so on drop. It's going to be really hard on that as well. And there's just people that want to mess with you if you're a streamer. That's part of why I really didn't want to keep streaming Hearthstone as well. That's why it was like Hearthstone Battlegrounds, the Battle Royale, TFT similar, like auto battler, right? Like they're both auto battlers, right? That's why I was thinking auto battlers are so much better to stream, because you can't stream snipe in auto battlers. And I see that for especially competitive streamers wanting to jump into the game as an issue, because if you want to play a competitive game and you want to stream a competitive game, you can stream TFT and Hearthstone Battlegrounds or other auto battlers, no delay, and like super good to streamable games. It's essentially a lot of different stuff happening every game. There's a bunch you can explain to people. There's a bunch of knowledge that they are seeking out. There's a bunch of like random-ish events happening where you can be like, haha, my streamer got unlucky, or damn, my streamer's the luckiest guy ever. Haha, streamer got like beaten badly, and so on, right? There's like a lot of things that is like KW, joke, hype and downs and ups and whatever happening in chat and in the game. Really good for that. Illuvium Arena right now, it's rough. Outside of all of this, guys, I hope you guys appreciate the video. I hope I could give some insight to a topic that probably most of you are not really aware of. Maybe this is something to consider when you, I don't know, watch games and you check out, maybe even in Web3, you check out projects. What do you think about the game? Just keep in consideration how streamable is a game is very important, because we've seen really good games essentially fail due to not being very streamable. Do I think this is a big issue for Illuvium as a whole? Not that much. I think for Illuvium Arena it might be a problem, but we could also just have that the Illuvium Arena streaming content in the future is not really going to be best of one ranked ladder. Maybe the Illuvium future streaming content is going to be daily tournaments, weekly tournaments, monthly tournaments, right? Whatever, right? Maybe it's just going to be competitive best of 3 settings. Maybe it's just going to be these hyper competitive settings, more than these more casual, I just like to play my games today and I can answer people's chat questions on the side and so on. Maybe the content is going to be far more in the super competitive oriented thing where viewers just want to watch the gameplay and they don't really care too much about the question asking part. And the question asking part is more outsourced to YouTube or outsourced to the people playing Overworld, maybe even outsourced to the people playing Illuvium Zero. Maybe they're going to have a lot of knowledge on Arena as well. Maybe people just going to play all the games. Maybe they don't going to specialize in one game. Maybe they're gonna have some day with super high delay competitive gameplay and then like a day with overworld and chill and so on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I could light up a lot of question marks, especially because I kind of entered the topic in this, I don't know, doomsday idea and mode. I don't think it's really that deep and that bad, but I really care about it because I'm a streamer. I want to be a streamer. I like making, playing video games and talking to people. My job. I want to continue doing that. So I care about this a whole lot. Do you guys care about this? Do you guys think this is important? Let me know in the comments, and see you guys in the next one.